All right, we're going to go ahead and continue our lesson with 8.1, and we're going to be working on the addition and subtraction of the polynomial now. All right, so on Wednesday in class, we went through all vocab words and these different examples, and what we're going to be looking at now is example 3 and 4. Okay, so make sure you flip over on the back side of this 8.1 note sheet and look at example 3 and 4. And what we're going to be doing on example 3 and 4 is we're basically just combining like terms. They're going to be addition and subtraction problems. So when we have addition in the middle, we're basically going to find things that have the same letter and exponent, and we're going to put them together, okay? So when I'm looking at this problem here, I'm going to start with this guy, 5x squared, and I'm looking across the problem, is there any other x squareds? And there is, there's a negative 3. So I'm going to go ahead and add those together. 5 plus negative 3 is 2x squared, okay? And then I'm going to look for the next thing that looks the same. So I've got a negative 3x and a positive 6x. I guess, again, we want variable and exponent to be the same. So negative 3 plus 6 is plus, sorry guys, plus 3x. And then we're going to put together our last one here. So we're going to put together the 4 and the negative 3. So 4 minus 3 is positive 1. So this would be our final answer here, 2x squared plus 3x plus 1. Now, it's not really important at this time on what parts go where, just as long as you've got a 2x squared somewhere in your answer, a 3x, and a 1. So as long as you have them in any order, it would be good. Now, keep in mind that this is a review of standard form. We want to keep it in order, okay? Leading coefficient would be the leading 2, and your degree would be this 2 right here. All right, so let's take a look at another one here. Same thing. We're going to put together things that are the same. So we're going to start with looking at y's to the 4th. And if I look over here, I've got a negative 2y to the 4th. So keep in mind that there is a 1 in front right here. There's 1 in front right there. So 1 and a negative 2 would be a negative 1 y to the 4th. Now I'm going to go to my next problem here. And I've got 2y to the 3rd. Okay. All right, and since there's no other 2y to the 3rd, I've got plus 2y to the 3rd. All right, and then I'm going to look through my problem here, and I've got a y, and I go to find the other y. So negative 3 plus 2 would be negative 1y. Gosh darn it. Sorry, guys. Negative 1y. All right, and then on my last one here, I'm going to have the 7 and the negative 11. So 7 minus 11 would be negative 4. Okay. Again, I've got it in standard form. 4, 3, a 1, no y. Okay, so standard form. This would be my leading coefficient, and this would be my degree. Again, I don't care if it's in order, as long as you got all 4 parts correct. Okay? All right, so now let's take a look at 4a, okay? Now, what we've done on this one is we've changed over, now it's a subtraction problem. When you have a subtraction problem, you have to distribute that negative to all 3 parts. So you're going to end up with a positive 2x to the 3rd, a negative x squared, and a positive 2. Now, once you do that, this entire guy is out, and now you're just going right back to adding. So I'm going to take this first set of parentheses here, and I'm going to add it to the second set of parentheses, okay? So again, you're just finding things that look the same. So x to the 3rd, x to the 3rd. So that would be 6x to the 3rd, okay? Then you're going to go to the next part here, and let's see, negative 3y squared and negative y squared would give me negative 4x squared, okay? And then I'm going to look, I've got 6x, and I don't have any other x's anywhere. So I'm going to write down a plus 6x. And then on my last one, I've got a negative 4 and a positive 2. So negative 2. And that's going to be my solution. Okay. All right. 4b. Okay. Again, if it's a negative in the middle, you're going to distribute the negative to all 3 parts. So you get a negative 7, a positive y to the 3rd, and a negative 12y, okay? Keep in mind, this guy is out once we do that, okay? So now, combine like terms. So in this case, I've got an 8y and a negative 12y. So we're going to have negative 4y. Okay. And then we're going to take a look at the next one here. We've got negative 10 and a negative 7. So I have a negative 17. And then on my last one here, I've got a 5y squared. Oh, no other 5y squared. So I'm going to have just plus 5y squared. And then the plus y to the third. Now I'm going to go ahead and write it in standard form. Again, standard form, put the exponents in order. So y to the third plus 5y squared minus 4y minus 17. Again, I don't care if you put it in standard form for your homework for right now, but eventually we will have to do this. So keep in mind, your leading coefficient would be a 1, your degree would be a 3. All right, so now if you don't have any room on your paper, you need to get an additional piece of paper. We're going to look at 2 more problems. Okay, the first problem we're going to look at, the directions are asking us to find the perimeter of the rectangle, and you're given the width and you're given the length. Again, if you this is not on your paper, so you need to go ahead and add this on a corner of a piece somewhere, or you need to get out that piece of paper and add it. Okay, so now if you're doing perimeter, you're going to add up all 4 sides. So keep in mind that you are going to have to transfer this 2x squared minus 3x plus 6 to one side, and the x squared plus 2x minus 4 up, okay? So now if I'm combining like terms, because that's all I'm doing is adding all the sides up, so if I start by combining like terms, I'm going to put together all of my x squareds, okay? So 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1 would be 6x squared, okay? Then I'm going to go to my x's. I have a negative 3x, a positive 2x, a negative 3x, and a positive 2. So when I add those all up, I'm going to get a negative 2x. And then my last one, oh, that didn't work out. Highlighter, there we go. Negative 4, positive 6, negative 4, positive 6. So when I put those together, I'm going to end up with a plus. Dang it. I keep using my highlighter, don't I? So I'm going to end up with a plus 4. And that's going to be my perimeter. Okay, so perimeter, add up all 4 sides, and if you need to transfer information to the other one before you add, do that. All right, and we're going to go to the next page for one more problem. Okay, so now on this problem, it says, find the third side of the triangle if the perimeter is this. So what they've done is they've given you a total, and you need to figure out what is this third side going to be. Now, when I'm teaching this, what I like to do is just start basic. So if I told you the perimeter was 10, just on a basic little triangle, just kind of put it off to the side somewhere, and I told you we're looking for this guy was 3, and this guy was 4. How would we figure out what this guy is? And hopefully you would say something along the lines of, well, we'll add these 2 sides up and then subtract it from the total, and you would be right. So if I did that, if I added these, that would give me 7. 10 minus 7 would be 3. So my missing side is 3. It's going to be the exact same concept over here, okay? You are going to go ahead and you're going to add up your sides, okay? So again, you're going to put together things that are the same. So 3x squared and 4x squared, and you're going to get, there's that highlighter again, darn it, sorry guys. You're going to get 7x squared, okay? On the next one, I have a 2x. There's no other x. So I'm going to have a plus 2x. And then on the last part here, I've got a negative 6 and a positive 3. So I'm going to have a negative 3. Okay? So now that's what I've added up. I've added up the sides to get the 7. I've added up the sides to get this 7. Okay? So this guy right here. So now what you're going to do is, right, we take the perimeter minus the sides. I'm going to actually put that up here. That might help some of you. Perimeter minus sides. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and set this up. Here's my sides, and I'm going to subtract off, and I'm going to write down whatever my perimeter is right here, and I'm going to put it out front so I subtract it off. Okay, so I'm going to have 10x squared plus 5x minus 1. Okay, now again, we are going to distribute that negative through, and get negative 7x squared, a negative 2x, and a positive 3. Once you do that, don't use him anymore, okay? Now, start combining like terms again. So 10x squared, negative 7x squared. So that would give me 3. There's the highlighter again. Okay, so it's going to give me a positive 3x squared. Okay, then I'm going to look at 5x minus 2x. So that's going to give me a positive 3x. And then on the last part, I'm going to add the negative 1 and the 3, and I'm going to end up with a positive 2. So this right here is my missing side. This is what would go right here, okay? So then keep in mind, if I add up all 3 of these sides, that should give me my total, okay? And that concludes the notes for 8-1.